Apple Loops here in GarageBand iOS are very cool and they're also very free. But are they royalty free? Can you use these in your projects without getting yourself into hot water? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video. Let's go. Hi, I'm Pete. This is Studio Live today. Apple Loops. Let's talk about them. So are they royalty free? Well, the short answer is yes, but the long answer is it kind of depends. So let's dive into the detail and let you know what's happening. Let's start by going straight to the source. This is from apple.com and it says, yes, you can use Apple Loops royalty free even in your commercial releases. Even if you're going to monetize your music, you can use Apple Loops in that music. However, you can't release just a single Apple loop. So don't go repackaging just one loop and then trying to release that as your own music. That's what they don't want you to do. You can hit pause right now and read that in detail. But there's a few nuances here and other things you need to be aware of, and that's what we're going to talk about now. If you want to release your music to Spotify, Apple Music, and other platforms, can you use Apple Loops? Well, yes, this is directly from DistroKid, who are the distributor that I use and recommend. Yes, they are a sponsor of the channel. Full disclosure, links in the description if you want to check them out. But as you can see there, they say yes, if they're royalty-free samples from sample libraries, and that includes things directly from GarageBand, you can use them in your projects. However, as you can see there, and again, hit pause if you want to read it in detail, if you are using those, you are ineligible for YouTube Content ID. Why is that the case? Well, let's talk about that now. So what is the deal? Why can't you add YouTube Content ID if you've used a free sample? Well, here's the problem. What happens is if you've used, say, just one loop like this, and then you add Content ID to your song, anyone else who uses this loop by itself in their song is going to get flagged for copyright. Now, clearly you don't own this free loop. You're just using it in your song, so other people shouldn't be penalized. And what's actually happened is that plenty of people who are just using free loops and free samples in their songs have been pinged. They've got Content ID copyright claims on their music, on their videos, because they've used a loop. So how do you work around that? What can you do to protect yourself? Let's show you that right now. The first thing you can do is come in here into GarageBand settings and adjust the key signature, the tempo, or preferably both. So what I did before I started this video is change this to A flat major so that when I played this loop, there's little chance that someone else has used just this loop in that key signature and that tempo. If I wanted to be super safe, we'd adjust the tempo here as well. The other things you can do is you can chop up your samples, you can reverse them, you can change them, and I show all of those in a video that you can see up the top there and down in the description. The other tip is to always layer up your songs. Never use just one loop by itself, because chances are pretty high that someone else has used this exact loop before and has put copyright on their song on YouTube and other places. So if you're using Apple Loops, layer them up. So if I have this one and I wanted to layer it up by adding something else, let's add this pop snare and drag this one over onto our mix. And now I mean, does that really work? No, but you get the gist here. We can add in whatever Apple Loops we want here and then add in your own custom sounds. So actually come in here and record your own keys, record your own violins or guitars or strings or whatever it is. In GarageBand, the sky's the limit. You can record in all your own custom sounds. So don't just leave it with one loop, because that's going to leave you vulnerable that someone else may have used that. And as soon as YouTube or anywhere else detects that you've used it, guess what? You get a copyright claim. Now, to be clear, a copyright claim isn't the worst thing in the world. It sounds worse than it is. What it means is that if you've got a video or audio on YouTube and it gets copyright claimed through Content ID, it means that any money you make from that video, if you're part of the YouTube partner program, will go to the original creator as opposed to yourself. Now, if your YouTube channel's not monetized, you may not care at all, but it's a good habit to get into to make sure you don't do that, especially because if that particular content owner is particularly picky about their music, they may actually block or even issue a takedown notice on your song or on your video. So you don't want that. So you do want to come in here, customize your Apple Loops, add in other Apple Loops, add in other sounds to protect yourself so you're not just using that one sound. So there you go, Apple Loops, really fun, really cool to use. Just take some care when you're using them in your music releases. There's a heap more videos down in the description and right there about how to use Apple Loops in GarageBand. Thanks for watching, happy creating, I'll see you next time.